Hi guys, it's Chris with City Girl Homestead and another canning project. Now this one was a suggestion from Sally. So I've never made it. I'm just going off pictures that she had, so hopefully it turns out okay. So the first thing before I get to canning and getting everything set up so I can clean this mess back up is I'm going to use 3 of my packages of hamburger. I was going to buy fresh hamburger to do this yesterday, and it was $20 for a 2.5 pound pack. And I'm like, well, hopefully this goes into balls really easy because I'm not paying that. And that was for $73.17. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. That is just absolutely nuts. The price of this meat has gotten so crazy. I hope you guys are enjoying the canning, and I hope that you're enjoying the pantry week. It's hard to keep coming up with ideas that you want to do differently every week because you don't want to keep doing the same ones over and over again. Okay, so now what I did is I chopped up some potatoes. They're in water over there, and I've already rinsed and rinsed and rinsed and rinsed them. So now I'm going to make meatloaf. I'm going to add an onion, 2 eggs, and yes, my hands are clean. Alrighty. And then I like to do it with stuffing, so I'm using just the Great Value brand. It's chicken flavor. And then I'm going to use a little bit of ketchup. Now I was hesitant on this because of the eggs. But I looked back and I had canned meatloaf before and I used eggs. So, and I looked on some recipes online and they used eggs as well. So we're going to get this all mixed together. The reason I like to use this one is because it holds it together so well. And that stuffing mix really adds a lot of flavor to your meatloaf. So even if you don't want to do this, if you want to make, you know, meatloaf, try it with the, I know that Renee, that's how she does hers too. But once you try it, I promise you, you will love it. It's just really that good. It adds so many spices to your meatloaf. It really is really good. Alright. I want to get it mixed up really, really good. I'm not sure how easy this is going to work. She says it's easy, and I'm like, okay. I always mix my meatloaf by hand. I did even when I worked in a restaurant, by the way. And most of them do, because it's so hard to get everything integrated. And you guys that make meatloaf at home, you know the same thing. It's hard to get everything mixed together with a spoon. Alright, so let me clean up this entire mess, wash my hands, and then I'll set everything up for canning, and we'll show you what we're going to do. I got everything set up and ready to go, and then Renee from Little Village Homestead called, so we just chatted up for a few minutes, so, yeah. And then someone else called, and I can call them after I get the video done. But anyways, so, we are going to make, I'm going to call it mashed potatoes and meatloaf, because that's what I would do if I got once I had the meal, I would mash up my potatoes, and then, you know, put butter on them, and I'd put ketchup on my meatloaf. So, we've got our meatloaf made. I did make one just while we were on the phone to kind of check it out. So what the plan is we're going to fill all these jars halfway up with potatoes. And they're all sitting in the water. I don't know if I've chopped up enough potatoes or not. If not, then I'll have to cut up a few more. But she made a few the first time, and she said she loved it so much that she canned more. So that's a good sign if you really like something that well. And what happens is we are dry canning the potatoes, but what happens is all the juices from your meatloaf go down on your potatoes. So then they're not dry. You know what I mean? They'll be wet, just like how when you cold pack your meat, and then it ends up being enough meat or enough oil to keep your, I'm running out of space here. It usually covers your meat. I only have enough potatoes for 7 jars right now. So I might have to cut up some more, which is fine. Alright, so what I did, I think I'm going to have too much meatloaf too, which is fine. I'll just make a mini meatloaf or something. Is I'm going to take a small handful of the meatloaf, and I want it to be thicker because nobody wants like a, I don't know, really skinny. So you're going to fit that to fit in the top and push it down a little bit because you got to keep it, right about your 1-inch head space. That's why you only want to do your potatoes about halfway full. There's 3. Yeah, I'll definitely have to cut up some more potatoes because I'm going to have plenty of burger. I had him take out 3, but I could have gotten away with 2, I think. And there's nothing to debubble because what are you going to debubble? I think I'll get my little meatloaf pans out after this and then bake up a couple of little meatloaves. So here we go. And now I am getting meat along the sides, so we want to make sure we clean those up really, really good. And if you want it, like she said, if you want to make it in quarts, then you need to do 2 patties. So that would be enough meal for 2 people. Now, she did say that some people put tomato sauce or whatever on top. And you could do that. You could do tomato sauce. You could put a squirt of ketchup on there. Whatever you wanted to do. I think I would just add it after the fact. And that way it's nice and fresh ketchup on top. So we want to make sure that we wash those off really, really good. I thought I seen something on there, but no. Too much work to not have them set. And I don't think you could really reprocess these. It would be something you'd just have to eat up right away. If it doesn't, set or something like that, you can always, because it'll be cooked, you can always put it in a gallon bag or a quart bag and, freeze it if for some reason something didn't set. Yeah, like you can see that little piece of hamburger on there. So I'm going to have to chop up more potatoes. These are brand new jars, but they're ones I got from Little Dusty's, and so they're old but new. And I didn't want to trust their lids, so I used my 4 jars ones. See all that hamburger I got on the side of that? You want to make sure you get all that off. Alright, so I'm going to keep filling these and cleaning them up. And then I'm going to cut up some more potatoes, so hopefully I can get 10 full pints in there. And then we're going to let it steam for 10 minutes. And then because these are pints and there is meat in there, you're going to can them for 75 minutes. I am so excited. I can't wait to see this. So I'll be back when they're done. Alright, so there we go. Doesn't that look beautiful? And it held firm. Like, look at that. It didn't fall apart while canning, nothing. So I have 10 pints of what I'm going to call mashed potatoes and meatloaf. How beautiful. Now that would be a great meal to send to work. I'm telling you. Awesome, awesome. I'm telling you guys, stack it to the rafters. Get as much on the shelves as you can. You guys have a blessed day. Be a blessing. And I'll see you at supper.